Hey guys, how's it going? I'm just kind of hanging out, letting see if some people show up, and just got a few things to say. Of course. Hope you guys are all having a good Friday night. Hope a few people are still up and at 'em. West Coast is still doing okay. Damn it, Judy. Don't be going to bed yet. You need to change your clock to like Eastern time, Judy. Help us out here. No, I just I wanted to come on. I had a few more things to add to kind of what I said the other day, yesterday, and or day before, whenever that was. Always something new to talk about. It seems like by the day, by the minute, by the hour, there's always something new coming down the pike. And yeah, Judy, I'm not looking at staying on for too long, and I'm gonna try to monitor the chat a little bit better this time than last time, but no guarantees yet. I'm trying. But yeah, it's I know it's hard for you guys across the pond to try to coordinate these times, and I appreciate you being in here, as with everybody else, coast to coast. Scotty activated the whole protest team. I'm not sure what that means. We can give it a whirl. But no, I really want to talk about, once again, hypocrisy and, people that want to play games and talk stupid and put stupid content out there. And, when they challenge other people, they ought to pay a little bit more attention to what they're challenging and who they're challenging. But I don't need to tell you guys about that because I know you're all up to speed on it and see it when it happens. But it's just I'm tired of it just going you know challenged. I mean they don't get any repercussions from what they do and say, and I think that just fuels their ability to just keep doing it. So I think the more we talk out about stuff and kind of shed light on, again, the hypocrisy, the stupidity, the lies, the accusations, all that stuff. I I think eventually more people will start getting the point and understanding, where the truth is and the reality of all this stuff. So, can you guys hear me okay? I'm not sure. I wish I had like a sound meter or something on here that could tell me that, but I'll figure that out one of these days. Cool. Thanks, Nanya. I appreciate that. So, White Snake, what's going on, man? I almost was going to ask you if you wanted to come up on a panel tonight. I could probably still do it, but I don't know. Haven't really dove into that too hard yet, and I just don't want to screw everything up by doing that before I really know exactly what's what. But appreciate you being here, keep an eye on things and all that. So anyhow, um, I'm gonna I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of get into some stuff. Um, Chin pubes today. And I know you guys all know who Chin Pubes is, right? Is there anybody here that doesn't know who Chin Pubes is? If there's anybody that doesn't know, that of course is the infamous MLH. They had their last show of the year. They're going to be on hiatus, and hiatus is a term that's used for television productions, movie productions, and things like that. So I think it's laughable that they try to call it a hiatus when they're just going to be lazy and take the time off. And there's reasons I say that, you know, people have family time and all that. I understand it, but maybe not so much in his case. But yeah, DOA's burn bridge. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to go insane, to be honest. I mean, they've been at that shit for 9 months, believe it or not. 9 months, 3 days a week, plus a shit show on Saturdays, uh, and it just you know I don't know how long it's going to take for these people to get the shit out of their head. When it all comes out that they really don't know what they're talking about. Uh, Panel, it's so easy. Just copy and paste the link, send it to them in an email or messenger or whatever, and they will show up backstage. Add stage, practice makes perfect. Leave me alone, Holly. I get the process of the panels. My biggest problem right now is I haven't taken the time to sync up my phone and the laptop, and so that creates a barrier between the laptop and the rest of the community and all that. I need to get the um, I need to get a couple more programs on the laptop that are going to make that real easy. And once I do that, we should be good to go as far as doing some panels. And I'm really looking forward to that. I know you guys know that I like panels and I'm all for them, but I'm not looking at running full time or anything like that. I at one point I didn't even think I'd ever even do a channel, but it's just gotten to the point where I think there are certain times where I know I've got stuff to say and nobody else is on, or you know, uh, chat's got stuff to say, and I just want to add another option for everybody to be able to voice what they need to get out there and get off their chest and all that. Yeah, Holly, I got to tell you, Lisa and I used to be really good with computers. Um, I mean, 15 years ago, 18 years ago, give or take, we probably could have opened up a computer shop, doing computer repair and that type of thing. I was really good with the hardware side of things, and Lisa was real good at the software side of things, and we built websites and stuff like that. Um, but for the last 10 or probably 10 years, I would guess, um, I've only had a phone. I haven't touched a computer or a laptop. And man, especially Windows 11, I've never seen it before, never heard anything about it, never heard any chatter about it. No forums or anything else to keep up on what the changes were. And the transition from a phone back to a laptop, it just feels like it's written in a foreign language. Parts of it. There's some of it that just feels real natural too, but there's a whole lot of stuff here that's just so different than a phone. So, I watch Scott set up all the stuff in his RV, and I'm thinking he's got a whole electronic shop in there. He's got, you know, adjustable monitors and a little microcomputer, just wires everywhere. I think better him than me. But there was a point in our lives, and we really enjoyed it, and we did. I mean, we both were working full time plus doing all that stuff. So, um, depending. Hi, AJ. Glad to see you here. Really glad to see you here. I appreciate you so much. Depending on your computer, if you plug your phone into the computer, it will sync. Okay. I'll give that a shot one of these days. I'll figure out how to get to plug the phone into the tablet or the laptop. No. Yeah, I don't want to make myself sound that stupid, but there's definitely a learning curve here to get everything up to speed. So, um, You got a gifted membership, Whitesnake, to Chin Pubes. Good for you. I hope you use it to the best of its ability, your ability to the best of its function, and enjoy it. I was actually watching a few people giving those memberships. I didn't catch the whole thing today, but I think their heads would explode if I got one. Just, and not that would be a bad thing, but yeah, that's a good question, Britt. Whitesnake, did they see it? Did he recognize it? Good to see you too, Petty Benny. I appreciate you too, especially when it comes to some of these questions. I will steer some of the questions I have for this stuff out to some of you guys, and I know I can rely on the answers. Just like legal questions, I had one tonight and sent it out on a text, and I'll bet it wasn't 5 minutes later I had a complete and full explanation and answer that I knew I could depend on, and kind of move forward from there. And it's really nice to have such a diverse community of people together, and good people too. That's a big deal. But once I got a couple more programs too that I've got to get put on the laptop that will help with being able to bring stuff up on the laptop itself, and that should make things, whether we're on a panel or I'm just doing this, hopefully it'll make things a little bit better. I don't know, just see an email. Come on, man. Whitesnake, you weren't in there when you got the membership? Dude, come on. You gotta take advantage and enjoy those moments. We don't get that many of those good ones. I wish I'd have seen it. I'd have recorded it for you. Anyhow, I'm going to play something here, and I hope the way I did it the other day, I hope the sound was okay. I hope you guys could hear it. If it's too loud or too quiet or distorted or anything, let me know. But what I want to play is a little bit of actually my stream that I did the other day, when I talked about what is my phone doing? When I talked about a few different people, and specifically, I don't know if you guys remember, I started out, the first thing was a couple issues with Nora. Then I had a couple things to say with Rika, and then we moved on to Chin Pubes. And somebody kind of questioned that, as far as what I had to say, who I was talking about, all those things. Yeah, Petty Betty, this is true. Lisa and I, by using a couple of different website building programs, we kind of were self-taught on HTML. Lisa was amazing at it, and I didn't suck at it, but she was much better than I was. But that's how we learned HTML. We didn't take courses and all. I mean, I've taken a lot of courses for a job I had down in Florida. I went for a week-long course for Access and Excel and all that. A week long for each of those. So I was actually pretty proficient with that. But that was a long time ago. I remember, working with, what is it? I don't remember the name of it. DOS 3.0 or DOS and then Windows 3.0, and the transition through all those. So yeah, it's I won't say it's embarrassing, to be honest. It just makes me realize, how much you can forget just not being around it. So I'm glad we're getting back into it, and I've got Lisa here to lean on because her brain functions better than mine. So yeah, and I'll say that out loud every single time because it's true, and I'm glad I have her as a resource because she works on a tablet on her chair, so she hasn't been as far away from this stuff as I have. But anyhow, I'm gonna play this little clip from my stream the other day, and I want you guys to be able to hear what it says. And anybody else out there that catches this on a replay or wants to share this out so the right people hear it. I hope that happens. But let's see if we can do this. Let you guys talk about it, chat about it, what have you. I wish we were on a panel, but I apologize for that for today. Can you hear that? Okay. I'm gonna start with Nora. Nora. Listening to some of her live yesterday, it blows my mind how dedicated she is to hating somebody. I mean, the energy that it takes to put that kind of level of hate together, and then the brain power that it takes to come up with things like being obsessed with how somebody drives. Yeah, literally, I don't know how many different times she was watching Scott driving, saying, "Oh, chat, looking at chat, looking at chat, looking at the road, looking at chat, looking at the road, looking at chat." I was going to edit this out just to make it shorter, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to edit it at all. Just let it play. Nora? Matter of fact, I think it was her that said at one point, or someone said, that the only time they look at chat is when they're going really slow or if they're at a stop sign. And then I heard other people talk about it later on in the day. I'm like, have you guys never watched his streams before? Still blows my mind. If he's driving, how many cars pass him compared to cars that he passes? The dude drives like a snail. And I'm talking like 15, 20 under the speed limit. He doesn't drive recklessly, ever. And yet, that's what you have to focus on, Nora, is looking at chat while he's driving when you don't even know. While you were saying it, I was trying to figure out myself whether he was actually moving or sitting at a traffic light, or moving up in line at a traffic light. I mean, that's a lot of hate, Nora. Nope. And here's another big thing you said. Pay special attention to this part. That I really take issue with. I hope he does too. This is important tonight. You literally said multiple times on your stream yesterday that DOA is a danger to society. How the fuck is he a danger to society? You guys remember me saying that? So that's the first thing I wanted to play for you. I know it's repetitive for the people that were in the stream the other day, but that was the first thing I talked about. That was right out of the chute, and I thought I was pretty clear on who I was talking about. What the two main points were that I wanted to talk about, at least. I didn't even get into like what Nani just said. She calls DOA and Aaron both the same thing, dangerous. I didn't even get into this whole bullshit that everybody wants to, not everybody, but a whole lot of people want to compare DOA and ASL. as being the same type of people. That's just fucking outlandish. I don't care who you are, what side you're on. To try to make that comparison, you're just being stupid. I mean, literally just being stupid. There's so many differences between the two. I can't even tell you. Um, the only thing I would say is they both have a voice in the community. They have built platforms, which are very different also, but they've both built platforms that get attention. That's the only thing that I could say that they're similar at all. But as far as the human beings side of this thing, I, I don't see that at all. I just can't even fathom, especially somebody, like Nora that tries to put herself out there as being, you know, very intelligent and all the word clearing and the specialist in the language skills and all that stuff. That just makes you even more dumb, Nora. You know, I didn't want to get sidetracked on this, but I'm sorry, it just makes you look dumb to even say something like that. I mean, I realize that they're both men. I get that. And I'm certainly not going to dive too deep into that, but that's pretty obvious. But I mean, the two of them in a comparison, you might as well put one in California and one in, London or somewhere and try to say they live next door to each other. It's just crazy. So anyhow, I don't want to get too far off track here on this, but there's so many things that I've realized, having a channel and trying to think about doing a live stream and stuff. There are so many people and subjects that, I mean, we could just pick one and go for a long time. We could go for hours on one person, one part of that person's presence, and fill hours of reasonable conversation without being repetitive at all. And I just it's crazy. Isn't word clearing just reading the words up in the dictionary? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, no, but yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much what it is. And again, that brings up a whole nother, topic of how they address, people that they think are stupid, when the reason they think they're stupid is just simply because they're just not paying attention. Hate's a powerful thing, guys. It really is, especially when it's manipulative. Whether you're the person that's manipulating others with it, or you're the person that's being manipulated by it, hate is a powerful thing. Especially when it's fabricated. Because I can, I mean, you guys, we've all heard Scott talk about, why do you hate me? I mean, he has asked so many people over the last 3 years, tell me why you hate me. What exactly did I do to make you hate me? And I swear to God, I can't think of more than maybe 3 answers that even came close to answering that question. If that. I mean, they can't answer it. And to me, if they can't answer it, they ought to shut the fuck up. They really should. Just for the simple fact of, by doing it, they make them look, they make themselves look like fools. But it's all part of playing the game. It's just nuts. So, all right. So we played that one, and I think everybody can pretty much agree on what I said, right? I mean, I went back and played it again myself just to make sure, that what I said was what I said. But I'm going to play this one now, and see if you guys can pick up on why it's an issue. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty easy. So let's see how it goes.
David B was on here saying that I was saying that he's a danger to society. No, David B. Here's where you get it wrong because you don't listen, right?
What?
You need to listen a little more intently. I know you listen to this show every day. Q-tip one too many times. Yeah, you got too many Q-tips in your ears, David Z. And I think that's a perfect moniker for you and Gimp, by the way. But Gimpy Z, right?
Yes, of course.
The thing that I said was he is a menace to society. Okay. So get your rhetoric right. If you're going to insinuate that somebody could sue me for defamation or slander or anything like that, get your shit together and listen. I said he is a menace to society. And I happen to think that he is a danger to a lot of people, especially if you turn your back on him, because it's been proven more than once, David Z. Gimp, if you want receipts, that he chokes people out from.
All right. Before he gets too far into his stupidity, am I off base here, or is he basically saying that I don't pay attention and that I said something that he said that he didn't say, and now he's on a fucking childish rant about it, but it's completely wrong? Am I right there? Yeah, we'll get into the choked out part. It's just that's pretty much that's all he said, but we'll touch on that too. But I'm thinking, dude, you're calling me out for not paying attention, for not getting it right. And you're spouting this off to all these people that are just sucking this shit up in your chat. And they're probably in there. I didn't read the chat, but they're probably in there just, just absorbing your narrative, like you're right on the money and you verified what you're saying and that you can keep track of things in your little fucking puny head. But you're wrong, dude. If there's anybody here that needs to pay attention, it's you. Because, see, you've offered up your channel. You don't participate in somebody else's. You have your wife involved in it. You're taking time away from your wife to do this 3 times a week, bitch. And you're going to call me out for not paying attention and not getting the facts right? Chin peeps, you look and sound and act like a fucking moron. And here's your receipt, dude. I hope you play this for all those people in your chat so you can provide them the receipts to prove that you were indeed wrong. I dare you. You don't have the balls to do that, though. Guarantee you don't have the balls to play this to prove that you're the one that was wrong while you were climbing on your fucking high horse. It wasn't a real high horse because I don't think you'd be able to climb too high on it. I know that little wispy beard wouldn't get in the way, but yeah. There's your receipt, bitch. You want a receipt? There it is. All right, I am going to let this play and just kind of touch on a little bit of what he says here.
Okay? He did it in Florida. He did it in LA. And I'm sure there's other times that he's done it as well because he's an absolute fucking coward. Baby.
And he instigates shit.
Hold on.
I still remember the elevator incident, you little bastard.
Yeah. Becky, so be quiet.
Rib Guy with the $10 super. It's surprising he has not asked the court permission to go to home for the holidays. Oh, wait. His family doesn't want him there. Yeah, well,
remember that part too. That he was so proud to read
when
that.
Nobody wants you to go. Miss Andy.
I say he's gonna grift. He's gonna cry in his van.
Yeah, he's gonna cry.
And his chat's gonna give him all kinds of money because
Well, they did that today. You guys are so butthurt.
Have a nice holiday with the Mustang family.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
All right, I'm not going to go through all the bullshit they were talking about because it's just fucking childish and it's nonsense. But you guys, I hope everybody's recognizing the common theme with all these people is they're so fucking jealous of Scott that it is just insane. insane. I don't know how they function on a daily basis, really, outside of this little cocoon that they have built for this 3 times a week little episode they do. I don't know how they function normally. I really don't. Because you can't tell me that they can just walk up and relate to the people in the outside world in a normal way. At least not in a way that people aren't going to look at them and go, "The fuck is wrong with you? Where are you coming from with that?" Just for the simplest things. I'll bet they have issues ordering food at a McDonald's drive-thru. I mean, it to me, it's just really that fucking weird. But this comment that he put out that you're a coward, and we know you're a coward because you like to attack people from behind. And you've done it twice. What he said was, you've done it twice. Once in LA and once in Florida. MLH, chin pubes, whatever gets your attention. I challenge you to produce the information about him choking people out from behind. Because, see, I'll just remind you, you dumbass, freedom of speech is not always free, buddy. And you're putting some serious shit out there. Not just this. Almost every time you go live, you put some serious shit out there. And a whole lot of it, if not almost all of it, I know you can't back up. And yeah, I know more than you do, dumbass. I really do. I don't have to think twice about that. And then, of course, Pinche Becky. She's got to come in there and add to it because she knows everything. Fucking idiot. Perfect place on that panel. And once again, I will just say very loud and clear and adamantly that they need to really look up the definition of parody, because what they do is not parody. Their music and their ads that they call it is stupidity. It's child play. Certainly not parody. Because it's all, when you base something on falsehoods and lies and you put it out to the public, compared to basing something on a comical retort to something that happened or an event that's actually, true that happened. When you twist some reality into comedy, that's parody. But when you make up a bunch of lies and you act on delusions and then you try to make that funny, that's not parody at all. Yeah, right? AJ? There's so much to it. Yeah, SNL is a parody. That's they're experts. They've been doing parody for how long now? Yeah, what's that been on? 50 years or something? They're experts at it. They're take a clue from them. And I'll bring this up too. I don't remember when I talked about it, but these goofy fucks actually compare themselves to South Park. They really do. I mean, I think it was dipshit Dougie that said something about something they were doing, and it was okay for them to do it because they did it on South Park. Talking about the president or something. I don't remember what it was exactly. I think it was something about the president. But because South Park did it in the way they do it, they were allowed to do it. I mean, literally comparing them, straight up with South Park. That's where their brain function is. But anyhow, there's another aspect to the whole parody thing. And again, based on information that they put out there, that when you start putting out threats and making false accusations with your quote unquote parody, you're crossing the line. You're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And I think when the right people see this stuff, it's all gonna come to the forefront at some point. And I'll be waiting for it. See, this is where I just got to let chat go, and you guys are freaking hilarious. So I love the mix of humor in this chat. I really do. It's just everybody kind of clicks. Everybody's got a little different twist of humor, and it all just absolutely lines up. So bravo to all of you. And with that, I am gonna try to get to a good starting point on this next one. And of course, it doesn't work. Oh, come on. All right, I'm just going to let it play through a little bit for it, so it'll queue up to the right thing. But there's there is some stuff that I want you guys to be aware of for those of you that are aware of some of the stuff they do, but not all. One of the things that I think that you guys have heard them bitch about and really take issue with is doing background checks on people, looking up people's information, right? I mean, there's a bunch of you that I know have heard them just go ape shit over it. They're going to call the DA. They're going to, they've called the DA. They've done all this stuff about, people being involved in looking up other people's information, right? That's one thing that we're going to go through here in a minute. But another big part of this is how they really feel and how their true colors shine through this supposed parody that they want to hide behind. And this next part that I'm going to play, I think, is a perfect example of this. And it doesn't take a whole lot of reading between the lines to pick up on it. But I think, once you hear it, I think everybody will get it. They'll understand it. And the people that don't understand it are the ones that are saying it. And this is repeated all the time on that channel. People ask me, why do you watch it? Why do you listen to it? Why do you pay attention to it? They're irrelevant. Well, I disagree with the irrelevant part. They're a communication source that we shouldn't ignore. And they're also a source for a lot of the stuff that some of the people in this community outside of that group have to deal with. So I want you to listen to this part and just see what you think about it. I don't know how long it runs. Not too long.
His prison sentence already.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for him to start, like right now.
Let's see.
If this was back in the 1800s, we'd say hell with it, man. We'd just show up at wherever he's at, man, because they wouldn't be having no ankle monitor. He'd be in a jail cell right now. We'd all just show up.
Chronicles is
We
Christmas.
just show up, man. Just grab him out of the jail cell and take care of it like how we used to back in the 1800s.
Show up with our pitchforks.
That's right, man.
Hey, Kitty, have a great Christmas. She had to drop off. Sorry I didn't get your final thought.
So, anybody unclear on what that was about? I mean, is there anybody in here that heard that doesn't get, what the fuck they just said? They're at a point in their mental disaster that they call disaster bees, that this bitch literally just said if we were back, I wish we could be back in the 1800s where we could just go grab him out of the jail cell, and a posse, and go string his ass up somewhere and take care of business. In the 1800s, 1880s, whatever it was he said. How did they take care of business like that, everybody? They were stringing people up in the trees. They were dragging them behind horses. They were taking them out, behind the tavern and putting a bunch of bullet holes in them, and then going in and having a beer, or some whiskey and playing some cards. I mean, are they so fucking stupid they don't realize that's what they're saying out loud? And under all the circumstances here, it means something. And it also identifies the intent of what they do 3 times a week. I'm waiting for somebody, MLH, right? Anyhow, that's a whole different issue. I'm waiting for somebody that has authority to come in and do something about it, to recognize it, to identify it. Because last I checked in this country, you're not allowed to just absolutely try to destroy a person's life and include your fucking mental manifestations of wanting to take them out and string them up in a fucking tree. It just doesn't make sense. So anyhow, I wanted you guys to hear that, because I know a lot of people don't watch them. It pisses him off, I think, that I have more likes on my boring ass videos already than he has in his, super off Broadway production 3 time a week hate shows. So I'll keep paying attention to this stuff, so y'all don't have to. I think it's somewhat imperative that we do. Damn it. I got to figure out this, the way to control these clips that I have in order to play them better. Oh, here we go. All right. So this next part, again, this is the part that plays into the hypocrisy of the channel, the channel owner here, when it comes to how butthurt they all were and how he was, leading the charge, about looking for people's information, and how dare anyone look up other people's information? How dare anyone, invade someone's privacy, go on a vendetta? How dare they? And again, it wasn't just they said these things, they acted on it. The fucking DA got calls and emails and all kinds of crap about this stuff. And when I say that, I know you guys all know that's the DA in DOA's case, right? I mean, they took action on their position on this whole information and, privacy stuff about your information and people looking it up and broadcasting it. But once I play this, I got a couple of things to add to it, but this might catch you off guard a little bit. You let me know what you think.
Dad Ant says, MLH, whose license plate are those on your avatar?
Dad Ant said this.
That's a partial license plate, Dad Ant, first of all.
All right, so what he's talking about here, first of all, he said Dad Ant. Dad Ant typed something into chat to prompt him to address the avatar that he has up there, which is a California license plate with 4 of the digits of the license plate showing on it. That was his avatar for the show today. for the stream, for the shit show, for the disaster. So that's what they're talking about. And just follow along where he goes with this.
May or may not be of a certain red electric Mustang that somebody is riding around. By the way, I confirmed is not his data. It was bought in 2023, so it's not new. It's a used vehicle, and it's definitely not his. Let's see. Let me get caught up.
Right. Let's see. I better not say anything more because I don't want to say something that's going to get my nuts in a ringer. Okay. You guys heard all the ranting. You guys were familiar with a whole lot of the butthurt people about private information and people looking up other people's information, right? Am I correct with that? I mean, it was a big fucking deal. And they all expressed how butthurt they were. But now he's going to put it out on his channel. Pretty clear on what happened here, right? And I'm going to guess it's also pretty clear that Dad Ant was involved in it, as usual, because that's just right up their alley. And even if they weren't involved, they heard about it and wanted to make it seem like they were involved. Either way, it doesn't matter. Look what he did. He did the same thing that he encouraged, literally encouraged the people in his chat to email or call the DA about. Some good caliber people there, folks. I hope everybody keeps that in the back of their mind and uses this information to shut these people up when it's appropriate. You know, you can think something's right or wrong. That's fine. Anybody can have their opinion on that. Doesn't matter. But when you start taking action against somebody else in the way that they did, completely contrary to the insanity that they put out before. Yeah, let's not forget that. And again, like I said, you know, we could go on for a lot of this stuff for a long time, you know. And I'll just say this. Of all the times that they have promoted and hoped for and wished and pressed people to contact the DA and everything else, and you know that they're convinced that the DA has a whole DOA team, you know, watching every video he ever puts out, you know, following traffic cameras to see where he's going, you know, yada yada. I mean, just all this, just insanity. Maybe they'll listen to my stream too. Maybe they're doing a DOA search and it'll come up on here and they can hear their own words and what they really do with them. Because I got to tell you, just on a complete opinion level here, they are driving that DA nuts. And to be honest, more power to them. Keep calling them, keep emailing, just keep all of it going. I mean, there's a real chance that they could actually get this case thrown out just because the DA says, I've had enough. You know, I'm done. This is, you know, this is a psychosis I don't want to even be near. You know, it's like, ick, you know, give me a washcloth. Let me wash this off. Yeah. So anyhow, I got one more clip I want to play. You know, we can talk and whatever y'all want to do at that point. But let me see if I can find this other one. It's a pretty, I think it's a pretty short one, but this this one gets pretty personal to for me, and I think for a lot of you, it will hit on a real personal level. Because the one thing that I know that everybody in here doesn't go for is involving family and stuff, right? I don't see a whole lot of that coming out of this chat, especially if it's an attack thing. Talking about a family or bringing your own family into it, that's different. That's a whole different thing. But as far as malicious attacks and stuff on family, a malicious attack on a person trying to use their family for that, I just don't see that over here. As a matter of fact, if I did, and I think you guys know this, I'd say something about it. And if I had a wrench, I'd kick your ass out if you were doing that in here. On this channel, 100%. You do that in here, I guarantee you, I don't care who you are, you're going to get kicked out. But in any channel that I've had a wrench for, I wouldn't tolerate it there either, because I don't think there's any creator that I would ever have a wrench for that would be okay with that. So it's kind of a no-brainer thing, right? I mean, that's something that I think everybody is on the same page with. Now, the contradiction to all this, the contrary side of this or angle of this is they do that all the time. They use family issues that they just have no idea about. They have no clue what Scott's family life is about, what his relationship is with his family, and they shouldn't have a clue. It's none of their fucking business, nor is it ours. If he or anyone else wants to talk about their family, like I said before, that's fine. That's up to them. But when it comes to family, they attack DOA with his family all the time, right? And if any of you have ever, if you've ever heard Chimp Pubes talk about it, he's probably the most vile about it out of all of them, out of his entire chat, his panels, everything. I think he's probably the one that's the most vile about it. And he said something today that, I mean, my jaw dropped when he said it, just because of how adamant he is, how consistent he is on attacking using family. And another level of it is, dipshit Dougie wants to get on there and he wants to turn on his little sincere buttons and talk about how to be a respectful sibling, or respecting your parents, or how people should act with family. And of course, Chin Pubes is, cheering them on and, patting them on the shoulder saying, hey, nice job, way to be compassionate, way to explain how, a proper family dynamic should be, right? And anyone that's ever listened to the garbage that they put out will understand what that is, because it's not a one-time thing. Dipshit Dougie really tries to step up to be the moral fiber of the place when talking about certain things, and family is one of them. Like he came from a righteous family, and he'll share that righteousness with everybody and guide them through the darkness, right? So this clip, which is not long, is also something I really want you guys to pay attention to. And I think it may be shocking and eye-opening all at the same time. So oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta stop. How do I stop this? Hold on. Damn it. That was okay. Sorry. That was Cracky doing something in his car. I'm not sure what he was doing in his car. He had the camera off. I hit the wrong button there. I just sorry. I just won't make that mistake again. Yeah. All right, I got the right one here now. Let me put this one out there.
Eve Christmas Day thing, and
I think Bernie and I are just gonna sit this one out with
Pay
family
attention
and
here.
eat somewhere, anywhere that's open. It's like I can't stand most of my family, man. They're just there's something else, man. It's not cool.
we'll be like
What?
watching like the Christmas movies and stuff, and I don't know. Our tradition was
Wait a minute. What? I'm going to play this again for anybody that didn't hear that. Sorry if you guys don't like repetition, but I think this is worth putting out there. And again, keep in mind, this is the motherfucker that attacked Scott for having a family that doesn't want him, doesn't love him, doesn't respect him, doesn't coordinate with him, doesn't talk to him, doesn't communicate with him. And what they say is he's the shit stain on the family name. That's how far he takes it. You ignorant fuck. That's how far he takes it. I'm going to play it again. Sorry. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to play it again.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day thing, and
I think Bernie and I are just gonna sit this one out with family and eat somewhere, anywhere that's open. It's like I can't stand most of my family, man. They're just there's something else, man. It's not cool.
We'll be like watching like the Christmas movies.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I understand what that means. I'm pretty sure I understand what that implication is now, and how much of a fucking phony this dude is when he wants to preach righteousness about family, about anyone. And he said that shit about me too. He's talked about my relationship with my daughter, with my grandkids. Yeah, MLH, challenge me on this too, motherfucker. You want receipts? I got plenty of receipts. Challenge me. So I just learned a little bit deeper of how much of a piece of shit this guy is today. And I really wanted to be able to share that with you guys, because it's just not the right way to live a life. It's not the right way that somebody should have to deal with this horse shit, which a lot of it crosses a legal line. But I don't even want to get into that part of it. It's just not the way human beings should treat other human beings. I mean, this fucking guy is dedicated 9 months, 3 times a week, to stuff that he is so hypocritical on, and has zero respect for anyone else outside of his little circle. And there's no limitations on it. So those are the clips that I wanted to play. I have no problem going through and talking with you guys about this stuff if you want to get into it. I know it's kind of late at night, and there's I don't know who else is on or not, but I just really wanted to get this out. And hey, Adrian, how's it going? Thanks for showing up and taking part. Appreciate it. But yeah, I really wanted to get that out and kind of make people aware of the reality of what they're doing, and the insanity and the inhumane talk and everything else about what they do. I wish I was able to I wish I was able to put some screenshots out, because I do have one screenshot that I'll read to you that came out of his chat. And see, the whole number one rule in Scientology, or anti-Scientology protesting about not saying names. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm sorry. Come at me. I don't care. And you guys know this name, Sunshine 001. Sound familiar? This goes back to the information and the license plate and the car thing and people's information. And I'm going to bet that Sunshine 001 was probably one of the people that sent an email to the DA. When that conversation came up about the license plate thing, this was her chat comment. It says, I loved how MLH stated today that he knew that Mustang did not belong to Scott. How is his chat going to feel when they realize Scott lied to them? That's literally word for word what she typed in that chat. I mean, how do you pull shit like that out of your brain? Somebody help me on this, because I really don't fucking know. I don't understand, in the overall scheme of things, how somebody that, like I said, I would almost bet money on it. I'm a quarterback guy. I've for years, for decades of my life, I've bet people, but I bet them a quarter, because I'm not going to win or lose a bunch of money on bets. But I loved how MLH stated today that he knew that Mustang did not belong to Scott. And you guys heard how he stated it, what he said, and that he has a picture of the license plate, a partial picture of the license plate as his avatar, his icon, whatever it's called. And then the second part of it is even, I mean, the first part's pathetic, but the second part's more mind-blowing to me. How is his chat going to feel when they realize Scott lied to them? How many people in here right now? I mean, it's showing 69 people in here. How many of you 69 people watching and or in here right now in this chat feel slighted or shocked or diminished in any fucking way about the revelation of that information? I mean, do they seriously think that? That's a big question for me sometimes. Are these people, are they just really goofing on us? Are they goofing on themselves? Or do they really think this way? I mean, it blows my mind, because they watch, to be honest, in the last couple months, I've had just a lot of weird stuff going on, weird timing and stuff. And I just haven't been able to be a part of as many streams as I would like to. I've had other responsibilities going on that have kept me out of it. Just different scheduling and stuff, weather changing, getting ready for winter, all that stuff. So I haven't been in as many as of DOA and White Snakes and everybody else's chats that I like to be in. I enjoy the atmosphere, and I enjoy, goofing off in there and, trolling people and all that stuff. I like it. I just haven't been there. So I can honestly say over the last couple of months, these motherfuckers have probably been in these chats more than I have, right? Watching them. And just for all of you people on the other side there, when somebody says in a chat, or if they're looking at a chat, you don't have to be participating in the chat to understand everything that goes on in the chat, to be able to read every word that everybody types from beginning to end. You can hear every word that the creator says without ever stepping foot physically by your buttons in that chat. Okay? Because I can hear it already tonight and tomorrow. Oh, David B is a fucking idiot. He said that we're in those chats We're not in those chats at all. But then an hour later, they're going to be talking about every fucking word that is said in that chat, but they're not in it. So I don't know how these people that know every single move that DOA makes, every chat that his chatters, that the elite chat, they know everywhere we go. You can't go into another chat anywhere else and not be called out, the next day of, oh, I saw what you said. Or they're in there talking, I saw what they said in this chat. Here's a screenshot of it. Yeah, hi, Jen, number one. And Sunshine, probably number two. And I could name a whole bunch of names for that. But yeah, I mean, it just, and for her to say that, it's like, you're really dumber than I thought you were. You have to be, because there's no way that anybody should perceive all of us in DOA's chat as all of a sudden this is a shock to us. Oh my God, you guys came out with top secret information that we were just unaware of. Yeah, restreaming. I can only imagine. I don't know if I want to just remain silent on that, or I don't know. I don't know. Once again, there's so many different topics, man, that we just spent hours on, just through one comment. It can just go crazy. But I'll be glad when I get a little bit better with the setup here, and I can add a little more context to stuff. Maybe share more tips on how to not break the law, stuff like that, and give examples of what real law issues are, what real lawfare means, what it entails. Because I got, Lord knows I've tried, especially with that person. I mean, for months, I have tried to say, stop breaking the law. And I mean, I've given examples and everything else, but just deaf ears. Dastardly, no, I'm not using a mic. It's just the mic on the laptop. Do I need a mic? What's happening? Is it good or is it bad? Or I'm open for every suggestion possible. But no sound is good. Nanya, really? No sound? You want me to just like not talk, or no sound is good? I'm a little insulted by that, Nanya. Lisa, are you paying attention to this? Nanya just literally said, if I would just quit talking, it'd be better. She said, no sound is good.
No comments.
Careful now, they can probably hear you. This mic picks up really good. Be careful. She said no comment. I appreciate the feedback. I really do. Lisa says she's in the same room, so she can hear me. Can you show some skin? I can, White Snake. You want to be a little more specific than that? Well, we can talk. Nanya, I was kidding, right? I understood exactly what you were saying. I just want to mess with you a little bit. Damn, Night Train. You are a sneaky son of a bitch, man. All around, all the time, popping in here, popping in there. I appreciate you stopping in. White Snake says hi, Lisa. Hi, White Snake. And hi to everybody. I like I said, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Night training, you're fine. I get it. I like how you troll sometimes. You know that. I've made comments about it. I don't like everything that you're involved with, but I think you know that too. So yeah, but I appreciate everybody coming in here. This is a new thing with a learning curve for me. Hopefully I'll get better as time goes by. I'm sure I will, and I'll work hard to do it. I'm not going to be streaming all the time. Like I said, it's not going to be a full-time thing for me. But I like the idea of being able to, like tonight, there's certain things I hear sometimes, that most of the stuff I just blow off, or I file it, in the back of my mind. And as my number one fan, down in Louisiana always says, I remember everything. So, I just need to get some of it and have an avenue to put it out there and get people's reactions from it and see what they say about it. So I love Lisa too, Judy.
Hi to everyone.
Lisa says, I think, can you guys hear Lisa when she says that?
Hi to everyone. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, they can hear you.
Hi to everyone.
They said, be quiet. Dave's talking.
Shy.
Patty, where'd that go? I had to scroll back now. I'm probably gonna screw something up by trying to scroll back. I've just been sitting here watching it. Judy,
Thanks, Patty.
wait a minute, Judy, you can't go to bed yet. We're not done. I'm gonna go on camera with a plate full with a turd on it here in a minute. Just settle down. No, I'm not really gonna do that. Patty, you said something about a lore, and I'm trying to go back. I didn't see what the question was. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Thank you for telling us y'all's lore. We appreciate you more than you know. Okay. They do. They like you a lot. They like you more than me. I know that. That's okay too. That's the way it should be. See? Tell me to shut up. Tell me to be quiet. Nanya already told me to be quiet, so I'll do that. Yeah, that's something I'm going to do one of these days too. I talked to Taylor about this quite a while back. We have a pretty neat story on how we got together, and a couple of people here know some of it. But that's something I think that and I'll just preface this whole thing by saying, if I share that here sometime, I don't give two fucks what the haters say about it. How many jokes they make, how many, comments and whatever. I just don't care about that. Like I said the other day, the shit coming out of Louisiana, it affects Lisa and I like 0%. I really just don't. I mean, it changes my life in an unmeasurable way. It's so minimal. I just don't care that way. Now, will I comment on it? Will I, do a little bit of trolling about it? Sure, absolutely. But it doesn't change our life. Now, you cross the line, you start breaking laws, that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, we've had a pretty good run, Nancy. We haven't had too many PPAs on each other or hospital visits or anything like that, for that reason. We've done pretty decent. But I can just say that we met online before meeting online was a thing. Before there was, chat rooms and, or that type of chat room and all that.
Before the movie You Got Round.
Yeah, before. Matter of fact, that's a good thing to say, Lisa. I'm glad you said that. How many of you guys have seen You've Got Mail, the movie.
Meg Ryan, Tom.
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Have you guys seen that? Do you remember that movie? Because I can tell you, if you want to know what our story is, watch that movie. We did that before they made the
Oh,
movie.
we didn't hate each other.
Yeah, we didn't hate each other first. That's true. Didn't know each other first. But yeah, that's that movie. It's a weird one for us to watch. I'll put it out there. Like I said, I will I'll come on here and have Lisa, right here like she is now. Which is right where she is always. We live our life about 5 feet apart, just so you guys know. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And again, if you're familiar with that movie, the script could be us. It really could be. And it's an amazing thing. Matt, how you doing? Glad you stopped in here. And it is a classic Hallmark. But there's a lot more to us too, getting even remotely personal. Lisa, for anybody that doesn't know, Lisa's a Philly girl. She's born and raised in South Philly. She knows how to not take shit from anybody. And I was a country boy. I grew up on a big piece of land up in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and 4 miles of dirt road to get to the blacktop, and 300-year-old farmhouse, six kids in the family, and lived off the land, all that stuff. We had 3.5 acres of garden. So how Lisa grew up and how I grew up are as a sharpened 180-degree differences you can get. And I think sometimes that really makes it click. But there's a lot to it, and there's stuff that I think you guys would enjoy. And like I said, I would love sharing it with you all sometime. And I'm not afraid to do it, just because, like I said, I could give 2 shits what the haters say. I've been pretty public most of my life. Wilson. Yeah, I've been pretty public most of my life. I mean, I've been out there and been in front of a lot of people, and my name's been out there, and so. And I also think it's hilarious that all these people, and I'm not stupid, I'm not naive. I know that because Scott and I are friends, and I'm vocal on the internet and in this community, that they want to come through me to get to him. They want to use me for this, that, and the other. And I understand it all. And I recognize every single bit of it from every angle. It's fine. And I handle it just fine. I enhance some things and I stop other things. But we've lived here a long time, and by having the companies that we've had, our kids have grown up here, so we've had a lot of relationships around here, and we still do. And we've never been in a position to be on the wrong side of having lunch with the police chief, or when they do the police and fire benefits. Our company actually ran those for 2 or 3 years in a row. And when they had other fundraising operations going on around the area, I was the MC for how many years? 6 years? 5 or 6 years. I was the MC for one of the biggest fundraising things we had around here. So I love it when these people threaten to come here and present stuff to the authorities or otherwise, because chances are the people that receive that shit, they're gonna know who we are and what we're about. And I have no issue with that. I think they're gonna look like fools. Yeah, and Auntie, I think that's my point to all this. I hope that's what's coming across is it doesn't affect us because we don't live that bullshit. We don't. And the other thing too, and I'll just say it real quick because it's something I've said. You know, I've said it before many times on panels, and I've typed it in on different channels. I am a very firm believer that the truth always wins. I don't give a shit what's going on. I mean, I just don't care how you apply it, where you apply it, who you apply it to. The truth always wins. It's that simple, folks. So if you're making shit up and you're lying about things and you're fabricating things or you're believing what somebody else has made up or fabricated or lied about and you run with it, you're not going to come out on the right end of the deal in the end. And there's always an end to everything, you know? I mean, this shit isn't going to last forever. So I just challenge everybody, you know, all the people around me here and, you know, in the channels and stuff that we frequent and like and enjoy and participate and feel real comfortable in and everything. And all the hate channels and all the people in those, you know, pay attention to what you're absorbing, what you're saying, what other people are saying and doing. And like I've also said, if it doesn't make sense, it probably shouldn't make sense. It's probably wrong. You know, when things make sense, it's usually because of consistency and people aren't trying to manipulate what the truth is. But when it doesn't make sense, it's usually been manipulated or lied about or completely fabricated. So do your best to separate that stuff out. It'll serve you well in the end. And this is the mansplaining part of this live stream. Good God. Lisa says, good God. Of course, that's what your comment to that would be. I don't know. They literally hit on Scott for going to a waterfall. They're going to be around a lot longer than I think. As long as they are getting views, it won't end. Yeah, I don't know. Petty, I understand where you're coming from with that. But I think that everything cycles. You know, most of the things in life cycle, and this will cycle too. You know, it's been on a pretty steady trajectory for the last 3 years. But I think with a lot of the stuff that's coming down the pike now, the angles of almost every bit of what's going on within the community, within, you know, good side, bad side, or otherwise, are going to change. And I think that a whole lot of the people are just going to be deflated over it, and they're going to be shocked over some things, and they're going to be angry over some things. But they got to be careful of the things that they're super angry about, because they may end up, you know, being responsible for some of the stuff, for some of their actions in the end. And, you know, that's a quick thing to get people to settle down too. I'm just here to tell Boss Talk, stop hiding from me and go live already. Look, you know, I've said this a few times, and I honestly think that Boss Talk left a little while ago, and he's on a walking journey to LA to make it to Scott's February hearings. You know, I mean, that's a long walk, and I just want to say, be careful out there, man, because, you know, the roads can be treacherous, especially this time of year, bad weather, and, you know, finding shelter and all, that's a lot of walking. You know, that's really a lot of walking. So I think that's why he's not in touch. He probably his phone battery probably died the second or third day that he was out. And I mean, I hope he's okay. I hope he's not, you know, being eaten by a pack of wolves or anything right now. That would just be disastrous. But I think it's, yeah, one step at a time. Exactly. But I think he's on a journey, and it'd be interesting. He kind of got stood up, for airfare and all that stuff. So maybe BT's riding around. Grammy Heather, I don't think so. I mean, you have to keep track of schedules, and you have to keep track of directions. You got to be pretty sleek and sly to be able to ride the rails like that and get to where you want to go. And I'm just not, his ninja skills keep him safe, maybe, but French is mustard. Yeah, I agree. Not Ukraine. I 100% agree. Not Cold Dad Ant. I think you might have crushed that man's, that guy's hopes and dreams. I think you might have deflated him a bit. So hopefully there's a recovery there, and we'll see what happens. But Petty, I think that's one of the biggest things that I kind of look at more than even the West Coast. So I think the West Coast stuff is just going to fizzle out. That's going to happen. But I think what I was saying before, I think it applies more to those on, from the East Coast from 3 years ago. Because at a certain point in time, they've got to realize, and Vaughn, I'm going to talk to you, our queen. At some point in time, you've got to realize you're wrong, lady. I mean, seriously. You have presented so many scenarios of Scott's demise just in the last 6 months that they're just not real. They're just not going to come true. And I think at some point in time, all of these people are going to look back and say, what the fuck have I been doing for the last 2 or 3 years? Look at what I could have done with my life instead of focusing on this son of a bitch. Well, I mean, whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. It's like there comes a point in time when it's just not worth it. Life is too precious. I've gone through 2 battles with cancer, to get real personal. I've survived 2 so far, knock on wood. I've survived 2 battles with cancer, and one I was told was as aggressive as it gets. Thank God I'm still here. But my point is, at some point in everybody's life, you just realize how precious every day is. My grandson coming here, I mean, he's 3.5, and I swear to God, it is arguably the best age for kids. And I mean, I cherish every single day I have, with him here, and he's hilarious and smart and funny and a smart ass. At 3.5, he's already a smart ass. But you go through certain things like cancer and other stuff and challenges, and it makes you realize that, holy shit, I mean, what if I'd have missed this? What if I'd have missed that? And I understand that side of it too, as a lot of I got situations going on that I don't talk about, and I'm not going to talk about. That's stuff I won't share with you guys any more than I have. But, I appreciate every day. And I think, God, I mean, how do you justify consuming that much of your life for another person that really, has left your life, has walked away, driven away, no matter how you look at it, they're not part of your life every day anymore. And all you have to do to get it to stop is stop. Quit talking about it. Quit thinking about it. Quit dwelling on it. Quit making shit up. Quit being sucked in. Quit being manipulated. Quit being used. You know, it's like right now. To our dear friend in Louisiana, I'm going to say this straight to you because I'm pretty sure you're listening. Right? I'm pretty sure you're listening. So hear this. You're being used, man. You're being screwed over. This whole legal thing you got going on, it's going nowhere. I mean, absolutely nowhere. It's a fucking joke. What you've been presented with and what you've presented is a joke. And, you know, I seem to recall somebody else that had the same thing happen with him. Now he owes 30 grand to somebody for it. 30 grand, dude. That's real money. That's not YouTube money. That's real. That's not Monopoly shit. That's real money. And you're getting taken right down the same path. Here I am trying to help you again, even though you're an asshole about me and my wife and everything else around me. I'm trying to help you. You can call me a liar all you want. You can call me this, and you know, David B's a bitch, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm just telling you right now, you need to wake up, man. You're getting led astray, and it's going to cost you a shitload of money, you know, at some point down the road if you don't realize it, and start realizing the people that are behind it. I mean, fuck. And of course, I'm an idiot. I'm a liar. And if that's the way if that's the way it goes down the road, that's fine. That doesn't bother me either way. I mean, trust me. You know what strife you face in the future because of you're not listening to people that you should listen to or pay attention to what's going on around. That's up to you. Doesn't hurt me at all. I gain or lose nothing. But yeah, when you know people get sucked into certain crowds of people, and it's like growing up. That's how you get into trouble growing up as a kid. You get running with the wrong group of people, and you either get your ass slapped, you get thrown out of school, you get thrown in jail, or you don't. And a lot of times it's just because you weren't paying attention, you didn't make right decisions. Well, same shit happens as adults. You've got to pay attention, you got to make right decisions, and you got to listen to people that know. People that are aware, people from the outside that see things. It's really that simple. And it's not hard to do. Swallow your pride a little bit and take a look around and see if what makes sense. And this goes to everybody. This isn't just focused to him or that one person. It's just that's how it works. So, I mean, at some point, I'll be honest, and again, I know you're listening. At some point, I'll just be shutting up about you completely, because you really don't fucking matter to me at all, other than you're just part of this community for whatever level that is. But at some point, I'll just shut up about it. So, listen to it or not, again, doesn't impact me at all. So, there you have it. Anyhow, I appreciate all you guys being here tonight. I appreciate the conversation. I hope I'm not just talking everybody's ears off. I know I'm putting people to sleep. I know I'm boring as fuck. I get all that. I'm okay with that too. I really am. Because if there's one thing that you'll never convince me of, is that I'm not a talker. Lisa used to say all the time, put a microphone in his hand and see what happens. And I'm fine with that completely. I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, the MC thing that I used to do every year, there was like, how many people show for that? 400 people, 500 people. for the fundraiser in town that I did. 400 or 500 people at least, I would guess. And the same with our auction company. You know, I stood in front of, you know, 300 to 500 or 600 people sometimes every weekend with a microphone for hours. So Night Train, don't tempt me with looking words up now. I don't know what that meant. I didn't read all of it, but just caught it as it was going off the page. But yeah, yeah, Bon Jovi, I enjoy this too. I know I'm the one that's talking right now. That's not usually me, other than, you know, on a panel, you know, from time to time. But I enjoy talking like this. I enjoy debating too. Matter of fact, Auntie M can tell you that. You know, we've had some phone conversations that were just straight out debates, and I loved every bit of it. I think she did too. But once we get the panels going, and Kyle, if you're still here, I saw you ask before. Yes, I'm going to definitely get panels going. I'm real close to it.
Maybe tomorrow.
Lisa said maybe tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow, honey, but yeah, I think I'm pretty close to doing that. And another thing I'll share with you guys too, on just so you have a better idea of what's going on with my channel and why I'm doing this stuff right now. A big reason that I'm doing this is that my mom's not doing real well. She's still in rehab. She's been in there almost 2 months now. She's 94, and this is not a sympathy thing. I don't want to hear. I'd prefer just, you know, you guys can hear this. It's not I'm not looking for reaction to it, really. I just want you to know. But there's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made, and whether she's going to be able to go back to her house or not doesn't look like that's going to happen. And I have 5 siblings, and one of the big reasons I made the move to get this laptop and everything else is I want to be able to use StreamYard to have myself and my 5 siblings and the spouses to be able to come on all at one time and be able to see and hear each other talk, because we're all over the country and we need to kind of put our heads together and figure stuff out. So that's
Privately.
yeah, privately, of course. Yeah, that was the first thing I did, was figure out how to do private streams. So, and ask she'll tell you that I'm not very good at that either. I'm better now, but yeah, it didn't work right the first couple of times. But yeah, I think it's a great thing. And the other thing too is I want to use this so all 6 of us can be on there as kind of a Christmas gift to her as well, because I don't think I could tell you the last time all 6 of us were in her presence at once, whether it was, you know, on something like this or in person. It's been a long time. A lot of very diverse lives going on. Yeah, Night Train, I agree. 94 is something else, man. It's I don't want to live to 94. I really don't. I just have no desire to do that. I just I mean, there's so many different ways that can happen, and you know what path you end up on at 94, you know, can make a big difference on what 94 is feeling like. So I don't know if I want to find that out. But yeah, it's she's got some stuff going on that makes it, you know, pretty tough. And my parents were married. Another thing too, I'll just tell you the type of family I came from. My dad died in 2011, the end of 2011. and they were married in 1950. So as of 2011, they had been married already 61 years. And so now he's been gone, coming up on 15 years. And, if he was still around, they'd be in the mid 70s range for years of marriage. So, but I don't know. What are you talking about? Lisa's over here cringing. I'm talking about being married for 60 years and she's over there cringing. Like it'd be a problem to be married to me for 61 years. Is that what you're saying? Not saying a word. Okay, fair enough. But good Lord, I can tell from the chat that somebody's all cranked up. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do about that. Not sure if there's anything to do about that when somebody gets all cranked up like that. Your parents are on year 33, Auntie? That's cool. We're on what are we on? 23. We're on 23. Actually, if you remember the story, no, it's not.
27
and 23.
23.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was getting ready to say. The story I told you about how we met and everything else. I could just share one thing is we've been married 23 years officially, and semi-officially, we've been married 27 years. So you guys can do the math, figure that out. They get married 6 months after they met, and here we are, 3 kids, 4 grandkids, and 33 years later. We got married 3 months before we met face to face. That's part of that story I'll tell one of these days. Maui, that doesn't surprise me for a second. High school sweethearts. Good for you. That's fucking amazing. Excuse my French on that, but one must be a hell of a guy, let me tell you. Putting in the time. Love that. Been married to Tech for almost 32 years. Yeah, Petty, I get that too. We were down that path for a while. It can take you over. One is the same. I believe that, Maui. I really do. Maybe one of these days we'll be able to all go have lunch together and talk about that. I would love it. Yeah, the diversity. I think just the way things are shared in this chat. Everybody knows not to get too personal, not to identify too much, but I think the fact that people are open to this and share like real people do in real life and recognize that it's a YouTube community, I think is amazing. 45 years married and 48 years together for Judy. Damn it, Judy. Quit showing off. Come on. Good Lord, that's amazing. Just keep giving it hell. That's all I can say. And you know what? Right now, without even looking at anything, dude in Louisiana, shut the fuck up. Because I guarantee you, he's jumping up and down doing the whole, jazz hands, arm flailing thing, something right now about all this wonderfulness in this chat. Don't be jealous, man. It's real. Just soak it in, learn from it, enjoy it. Sure. But anyhow. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to jump off here in a little bit. I appreciate this, and like I said, I will definitely get panels going pretty soon. I really don't want to be the only one sitting here talking, even though I have no problem being the one talking. I'd prefer to really be able to interact with you guys and hear, your stories and your voices and give you guys an opportunity to just really, have a place to be comfortable, and there's no restrictions on it. Come up and relax and chit chat, and the hell with the rest of the people that want to interfere with it. I'm not gonna say that this is a safe place. You know that you're loved and welcomed here. You can come here and do anything and talk and be yourself, and no one in this place will attack you, like FinPube says. I think I kind of proved that to be bullshit tonight. Not quite as sincere as you might think you are. Challenge me on receipts. I dare you. I really do. As long as the person's intelligent enough to understand the receipts when they're presented to them, it usually works out
For
the truth. What?
I'm sharing.
Oh. Sticker doesn't know my channel?
Now I can't find.
That's okay.
Son of a bitch.
Do you want me to get somebody to share it with her?
Yeah, do that.
Can somebody go into where are you on Patreon? Can somebody put my channel on Patreon for a sticker? She's lost. She's trying to find her way. Damn it, Sticker. I thought you had radar in those nails. All right, good night, Judy. Hey, we appreciate you. Really do. I mean that. Save some creation and you share if the situation calls for it. You'll understand. A couple shorts I created for some cows about that. Cool. Always welcome to that stuff. I don't know if she's not listening to me. I know that because she doesn't know what channel is. Yeah, cool, Judy. Tell your husband too. We're all impressed with 45 and 48. That's some good shit. That's all I'll say. And I do just like sitting here reading through the chat too. I mean, that's another thing for panels. I think it's the best of both worlds. You just don't have one person up there and the person that's up here, like myself or anybody else that has a channel. It gives them an opportunity to just kind of absorb what's going on around them and not have to feel like they have to talk all the time. I'm not that person either. I just don't think that I have to talk every second that I'm live. I'm reading through chat or trying to figure something out or trying to play the clips or something like that. And I don't feel pressured by having to have a timeline or just keep going all the time. So. Facebook will suggest people who's looked your name up. Social program could find alts by associated logins. Yeah. All interesting, Patty. No doubt. It's the information is great. Oh, you know what I want to say too? Something else that just I don't know why just clicked into my head. And this goes back to the Scientology thing. I don't want this to be a Scientology channel per se. I know we're all connected through that type of thing, the anti-Scientology protesting and all. That's how we all came together. But I don't really want it to be that way all the time. I don't mind talking about it. I really don't. But this is something that identifies Scientology for what it is. Who wants to tell me what the universal solvent is? Anybody? What's the universal solvent? What do they say? What does Scientology say? I know this is a real twist when I said I was getting ready to get off, but yeah. So everybody's familiar with that, right? I hate that I know it too, to be honest with you. At this stage of the game, the way this is all gone, I hate that we all know this. But we all know this. Communication is the universal solvent. Can I just bring everybody up to speed and say that is absolute horseshit? And it's also, thank you, not Ukraine. It's also not original. It's a stolen thing, just like everything else in Scientology. Communication is not the universal solvent. The universal solvent is water. Always has been, always will be. It's been known for eons what the chemistry of water is, what it means to human life and civilizations all around the world. Survival and for any community or any species of people or animals, rather, you have to have water. That's it. Right? It's just one more great example of the fact that everything about Scientology was stolen. And that is right at the top of the heap. Water is the universal solvent. And at some point, somebody said, communication is the universal solvent. Yeah, whatever. That's how that whole thing developed. False pretenses. It's like stolen valor. But I don't know why I thought of that. I just wanted to say that out loud because I don't think I've ever heard anybody else challenge that before. And it's like, water makes the world go round. It is the universal solvent. It breaks the world into components that are functional and usable for the human beings and the animals and building materials and everything, you name it. That's what it is. And he just stole it. So one's fake, one's not. Give him hell, Judy. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's happening there. I don't have them on anywhere, but I can tell you're just giving them shit. And I'll just say that one thing is I heard him say this morning, I turned it on for a few minutes and was listening to him scrubbing his car out from whatever he spilled last night. And he was all butthurt because he got blocked out of my chat. And he came in and I don't know what he put in there. I didn't even see it until kind of after the fact. But he got blocked out of the chat. after I had said on that stream specifically, if you want to talk, come in and talk. Say a bunch of lies or stupid shit, you're going to get thrown out. You're going to get blocked. But his response was, all right, since David B blocked me, I'm blocking everybody else. You're all blocked. Nobody's coming into my channel. It's like, that's the way to build a nice, diverse channel. Block everybody that you don't like. Block everybody that says something that you don't agree with. I welcome people that don't agree with me, as long as they're real about it. Scrolling today. Weird. What the fuck's that? Jason. John Travolta baby with Lisa Marie Presley. Leslie, TMZ reported. Shit just gets weirder with them. Actually, it's weirder than that. What I heard was it wasn't with Lisa Marie Presley. Unless I'm tired right now, my brain's not working. Who is Lisa Marie Presley's daughter?
What?
Who is Lisa Marie? Lisa Marie Presley is the daughter, or is that the mother?
It's snowing.
It is snowing. Yeah, it's snowing right now. Just started snowing. I heard it hitting the thing. No rain. They say that. Oh yeah, Lisa Marie. I think it was Lisa Marie. I stand corrected. Priscilla was his mom, right? That's the one that was married to him. I don't know. It's a mom and a daughter and maybe another daughter, but they didn't want drugs in it. So, yeah, but I mean, that shit doesn't surprise me. And honestly, it doesn't take Scientology to have that stuff going on. I mean, that's found outside of Scientology. So I hope people don't just credit that to the woo-hoo craziness of Scientology. That can happen almost anywhere, especially when you're talking about a bunch of rich people and doing what rich people do. But yeah, it's nutty. Lisa is mom. Yeah, I never followed them much. I've been to Graceland though. As a matter of fact, I just lived about a mile and a half up the road from the fake Graceland, the mini Graceland in Orlando. Just outside of Orlando. The guy built an exact replica of Graceland. And I'd seen that dozens of times because I lived right there. But then I went to Graceland and I realized that the guy did a really nice job replicating Graceland. It looked, almost identical. So, not that matters. This is the rambling portion of this live stream. No more mansplaining, just rambling. All right. Y'all, I've had a great night. Appreciate you stopping in. Hope I was able to share some good information with you guys. Hope you have a good weekend. For anybody that's not going to be online or otherwise, hope you have a good Christmas and New Year's if I don't see you out there. Our furnace is running, so my throat is just dry as a bone. Furnace doesn't stop running when it gets this cold, but have a great week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football games. You got 2 games tomorrow. Don't forget that. Go Pack. The Bears still suck. And hopefully that works out good. So, all right. I'll get better at this, and hopefully we can have some fun with it moving forward. You guys all have a great night, and I will see you soon.
Bye, love.